We missed the out of you out here, bro. How you been?
I've been good, man. Mentally, spiritually. I've been on top of my shit.
Let's get started. On April 28th, 2025, during his ongoing legal battle, Lil Durk made a remarkable and unexpected public appearance. Not in person, but via a phone call to DJ Akademiks during a live stream. This rare moment of direct communication from behind bars immediately captured the attention of fans and media alike, offering a glimpse into Durk's mindset while incarcerated.
Yeah, ain't nothing changed, bro. I just focus on life, my family and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn how to speak Arabic again.
Fans believe that Durk may have admitted to murder, and there's a reason for that. Prosecutors dropped a new bombshell. When Akademiks asked Durk if he was taking formal classes, Durk replied, "I've been good man mentally, spiritually. I've been on top of my, I'll be back out there, you hear me?"
No, it's a couple guys here that know how to speak Arabic fluently. So I'm just learning the different words and, tighten up my Arabic, just get my knowledge together.
That positive outlook, delivered with apparent confidence, stood in stark contrast to the seriousness of the charges he faces. The call revealed that Durk has been using his time in custody constructively, learning Arabic, and even helping other inmates convert to Islam, demonstrating a focus on spiritual growth during his confinement. This exchange revealed much about Durk's approach to his incarceration. Rather than surrendering to despair, he appears to be using this time for personal development and spiritual exploration. This focus on growth and learning suggests a resilience that has resonated strongly with his fan base. Akademiks responded with visible support during the conversation, mentioning that hip-hop misses Durk and wishing him well. This interaction shows the strong backing Durk continues to receive from influential figures in the music industry, even as he faces serious legal jeopardy. The reaction to this call was immediate and widespread on social media platforms. Hashtags like Knocker Free Durk and Knocker Free the Voice trended, with fans expressing solidarity and hope for his release. This outpouring of support demonstrated Durk's enduring connection with his audience despite his absence. From the public eye, the call itself was brief but impactful, offering fans direct confirmation that Durk remains focused and optimistic despite his challenging circumstances. For many supporters, hearing his voice directly was a meaningful moment. After months of speculation and concern about his well-being, what's particularly notable about this call is the calm, measured tone Durk maintained throughout. Despite facing charges that could result in a life sentence, he spoke without bitterness or desperation, instead projecting an image of someone using adversity as an opportunity for growth. This wasn't the first time DJ Akademiks has been involved in discussions about Durk's case. When news of Durk's arrest initially broke in October 2024, Akademiks reportedly collapsed during a live stream upon seeing the mugshot indicating the personal impact of the case on those close to Durk. The public reaction to Lil Durk's case extends far beyond this single phone call. Since his arrest in October 2024, there has been intense debate about the charges, the evidence, and particularly the use of his lyrics in the prosecution's case. On Lil Durk's Instagram video, celebrities, including Meek Mill and Ro, expressed support with fan messages, reflecting a desire for his release and questioning the justice system's treatment of rappers. Comments like, "They already did Melly dirty, I hope they're not going to do the same with you. Free the voice and free the voice till it's backwards," demonstrate the passionate defense many fans have mounted. This vocal support stands against the backdrop of a criminal justice system that many in the hip-hop community view with suspicion, particularly regarding how it treats black artists. The parallels to other high-profile cases involving rappers such as Young Thug's RICO trial have not gone unnoticed, fueling speculation about whether these prosecutions reflect a broader pattern of targeting artists with gang affiliations. For many in the hip-hop community, these cases represent a troubling pattern. As Kevin Liles and other industry executives have argued in their Protect Black Art campaigns, there appears to be a disproportionate focus on criminalizing rap music compared to other genres that also contain violent imagery. The phone call to Akademiks also seemed strategically timed, occurring just weeks before Durk's scheduled bond hearing in May 2025. By presenting himself as calm, reflective, and focused on positive growth, Durk may have been indirectly making a case for his release before trial, demonstrating that he's not the danger to society that prosecutors have portrayed. This strategy aligns with efforts by his legal team, who have proposed a $3 million Bail package including $1 million in cash, $900, 000 in real estate, and 24/7 security. Though previous bail requests have been rejected, the upcoming May hearing represents another opportunity for Durk to secure pretrial release. What makes this case particularly complex is the alleged motive. Prosecutors describe the shooting as retaliation for the 2020 killing of King Von Durk's close friend and artist. This alleged conflict between Durk's OTF, Only the Family, affiliated with the Black Disciples, and Quando Rondo's camp tied to the Roland 60s neighborhood. Crips adds layers of complexity to an already multifaceted case. The irony isn't lost on observers that Durk has publicly advocated for peace, particularly in Chicago's drill music scene. In 2024, he supported a mural honoring fallen artists, including King Von, as part of efforts to reduce gang violence. At his October 20th, 2024 birthday concert at the United Center just days before his arrest, he shared stages with various artists reinforcing his stated commitment to ending gang violence, a message that stands in stark contrast to the allegations he now faces. This dichotomy between Durk's public peace advocacy and the violent retaliation he's accused of orchestrating creates cognitive dissonance for many fans. Some see it as evidence of his innocence, arguing that someone genuinely promoting peace wouldn't simultaneously be planning violence. Others view it more cynically, questioning whether the peace messaging was merely a public persona that masked different private actions. Another aspect of public reaction worth noting is the continued commercial success of Durk's music, despite his incarceration. His album, Deep Thoughts, released on March 28, 2025, has remained on the Billboard charts, demonstrating that legal troubles haven't diminished his artistic relevance or fan support. This commercial resilience reflects a long tradition in hip-hop, where legal challenges sometimes enhance an artist's credibility or perceived authenticity. While not unique to rap music, other genres have seen similar dynamics. This phenomenon raises complex questions about the relationship between art, commerce, and criminal allegations. Looking ahead, several key dates will likely shape the next chapter of this unfolding story. Bond hearings scheduled for May 2025 could potentially allow Durk to be released before his trial. Though previous attempts at securing bail have been unsuccessful, the trial itself, set for October 14, 2025, promises to be one of the most closely watched legal proceedings in recent hip-hop history. With 230 GB of digital evidence and thousands of pages of reports, the case's complexity suggests a lengthy and detailed examination of the allegations, but perhaps the biggest evidence that's become an issue is his lyrics as evidence. The complex world of hip-hop, where artistic expression meets real-life storytelling, few legal battles have raised as many questions about creative freedom as the current case against Chicago rap star Lil Durk. The center of this high-profile federal prosecution is something unexpected. A song, Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, a collaboration between Lil Durk and Babyface Ray, released in December 2022, has become the most controversial piece of evidence in a case that could potentially send one of rap's most prominent voices to prison for life. Federal prosecutors have seized on specific lyrics from this track, arguing they directly reference the planning and aftermath of an August 2022 shooting near the Beverly Center in Los Angeles that claimed the life of Lil Pab Savoye Robinson, cousin of rapper Quando Rondo, Tyquan Bowman. The prosecutor's interpretation centers on songs that they say discuss the attack's planning and make reference to news reports about the aftermath. Court filings state that they consider these lyrics to be direct evidence of Lil Durk's involvement in the crime, implying that he was aware of and involved in the shooting that killed Savoye Robinson.
Those charges include aggravated assault and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Today, his attorneys told us that both they and the rapper learned of these charges about a day or so ago.
2 criminal counts were added to the government indictment on November 7, 2024, alleging that Lil Durk utilized these songs to commercialize the crime by rapping about retaliation. Similar tactics were used in Young Thug's RICO prosecution, where 17 sets of lyrics were entered as evidence. Thus, this strategy is not without precedence. However, Lil Durk's defense team has put up a strong fight against this interpretation. They have made a strong counterargument, led by lawyers Christy O'Connor, Jonathan Braymond, Marissa Goldberg, and Drew Finling. It is chronologically impossible for the lyrics to allude to an event that had not yet happened because they were recorded in January 2022, 7 months before to the August massacre. The defense has provided statements from 2 music producers, confirming that the song was produced in early 2022 and was not altered following the shooting to bolster this date. Their claim that prosecutors have essentially misunderstood the lyrics is based on this timing discrepancy. Durk's defense team went one step further on April 21st, 2025, when they filed a motion to dismiss the case completely, alleging prosecutors of prosecutorial misconduct and misleading the grand jury with false evidence. They claim that the time frame unequivocally demonstrates that the lyrics could not have been about the shooting, and they have referred to the lyrics as the cornerstone of the prosecution's case. The prosecution's allegation that the lyrics allude to a particular news clip has also been contested by the defense, which claims that any such associations were made by internet fan pages unrelated to Lil Durk. In a statement to Newsweek in December 2024, Durk's legal team criticized the use of lyrics as a clear sign that there is no solid proof against him, claiming that the charges were untrue and that the bare minimum of due diligence had been done. In addition to the public song, federal agents used a federal search warrant to obtain an unreleased song called Screw His from a co-conspirator's phone. Despite never being formally published by Durk, this previously unheard song, which eventually surfaced on SoundCloud, describes Durk as a bounty hunter and includes lines like, "riding through Beverly Hills with choppers." These lyrics, according to the prosecution, further support his role in the shooting. The fact that unpublished information was seized shows how carefully investigators have been looking for evidence that could connect Lil Durk to the purported conspiracy. Music industry leaders, civil rights organizations, and legal experts have all voiced strong opposition to the use of rap lyrics as evidence. One prominent voice on this topic is Eric Nielsen, a professor at the University of Richmond and co-author of Rap on Trial, Race, Lyrics, and Guilt in America. The way that prosecutors are using these lyrics is really to strip them of any artistic value, to deny them the status of art at all, and treat them as literal confessions, said Nielsen, who also provided testimony during Young Thug's trial. A criminal proceeding, whether it's about detaining someone or about their ultimate conviction, is really about something that someone has done, or a specific action they take, not their artistic expression, said Ed Yonka, spokesperson for the American Civil Liberties Union of Illinois, who has also criticized this practice. States like California and Louisiana have enacted legislation restricting the use of lyrics as evidence in state courts as a result of this dispute. However, these state safeguards are inapplicable because Lil Durk's lawsuit is in federal court. Critics contend that, as industry leaders have noted in their Protect Black Art campaigns, this approach disproportionately targets black artists, treating their work with greater mistrust than other genres and possibly stifling creative expression. Violent imagery is common in rock, country, and other genres, yet it is rarely scrutinized or subject to legal repercussions. Significant concerns regarding free speech, artistic license, and racial bias in the criminal justice system are brought up by the use of lyrics as evidence. Rap lyrics have historically been used by prosecutors against defendants in ways that other forms of artistic expression are not. This practice is viewed by many law scholars as prejudiced at worst and questionable at best. This problem has previously surfaced in relation to the case against Lil Durk. Prosecutors also used lyrics as proof of illegal behavior in the recent, high-profile RICO case against YSL and Young Thug. Notwithstanding this strategy, the final 2 defendants in that case were acquitted of murder early in 2025, underscoring the drawbacks of utilizing artistic expression as proof of real-world offenses. The time issue is particularly important for Lil Durk. It would seriously weaken the prosecution's case if his legal team could establish beyond a reasonable doubt that the lyrics were recorded prior to the incident. This chronology debate serves as a reminder of how important accurate documentation may be when criminal accusations revolve around artistic expression. The music industry is still dealing with the wider ramifications while Lil Durk awaits trial. Concerns regarding the potential suppression of artistic expression due to these convictions have been voiced by groups such as the Recording Academy. After all, hip-hop's ability to function as an art form may be drastically altered if musicians worry that their lyrics may one day be used against them in court. Hip-hop lyrics are considered very differently than other types of art, according to some experts. Violence is frequently portrayed in books, films, and other musical genres, without the authors being suspected of committing a crime. This discrepancy begs the question of whether the court system's interpretation of rap music is influenced by cultural bias. Fans still enjoy Lil Durk's songs in spite of his imprisonment. His album Deep Thoughts, which was published on March 28, 2025, has stayed on the Billboard Top 100. This ongoing creative output begs the question of how artists manage their professions when confronted with significant charges, as it contrasts sharply with his legal circumstances. Additionally, he has kept up his presence through features, including as the song Dead on Ty Dolla $ign's Vultures 2 and Kanye West's. This continuous output indicates Durk's dedication to his craft, despite possibly fatal legal issues. Long-running discussions on the commercialization of hip-hop's street culture have also been rekindled by the uproar surrounding Durk's case. While supporters point out that artists are frequently just reflecting the realities they have encountered or witnessed, others contend that the industry profits from and occasionally promotes violence. Lil Durk's music, which describes the difficulties of growing up in Chicago's hazardous Englewood neighborhood, is seen by many listeners as an honest voice. The aspirational narrative that has always been at the heart of hip-hop culture is embodied by his journey from the streets to Grammy-winning stardom. But we must first look at the circumstances that led to this well-publicized arrest in order to completely comprehend what happened to get to this position. What actually took place? Rappers were shocked on October 24, 2024, when Grammy-winning musician Lil Durk was detained in Broward County, Florida, close to Miami International Airport, on suspicion of trying to flee the country. The Chicago rapper, whose true name is Durk Derek Banks, was arrested on federal counts of plotting murder for pay. If found guilty, the charges may carry a life sentence.
We start with breaking news tonight at 9 o'clock, and rapper Lil Durk just surrendering at the Fulton County Jail.
Yeah, he is charged with attempted murder for a shooting outside of the Midtown Varsity. CBS 46's Jason Bragg joins us live outside of the jail.
With mixtapes like his Signed to the Streets series, Durk, who grew up in Chicago's notorious Englewood neighborhood, started his ascent to fame in the early 2010s. He went on to win a Grammy for Best Melodic Rap Performance for All My Life, featuring Jay, transforming from a local artist to a worldwide celebrity, Cole. Beneath his musical accomplishments, however, there has always been a backstory, one that is connected to the intricate network of gang ties and the streets of Chicago. Durk's career has been characterized by this contradiction. On the one hand, he is a highly regarded musician who has worked with major players in the business like Drake and J. Cole. On the other hand, he has been repeatedly connected to street fights in Chicago, especially through his Only the Family collective, which prosecutors have described as serving as both a street group with gang affiliations and a legal music company. Federal prosecutors claim that Lil Durk's allegations are related to an incident that happened on August 19, 2022, close to the Beverly Center Mall in Los Angeles. Quando's cousin, 24-year-old Savia Robinson, better known as Lul Pow, was killed in what was purportedly a targeted attack on rival rapper Quando Rondo. In a forceful announcement, the Department of Justice charged Lil Durk with conspiracy, using, carrying, and discharging firearms, including a machine gun, in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death, and using interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death. However, this was not a one-man show. 5 additional members of Durk's Only the Family label, Kevin London Grant, DeAndre Dantrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston, were also charged in relation to the incident. According to the claims, prosecutors claim that the motivation was revenge for the murder of King Von, a close friend of Lil Durk and a signee of his label, on November 6, 2020. King Von, whose true name was Davon Bennett, was slain when he got into a fight with Quando, Rondo's partner, Timothy Leaks. Despite the fact that Leaks' charges were dropped in 2023, the incident seems to have set off a lethal series of events that led to the 2022 shooting. This purported cycle of revenge draws attention to the perilous confluence of street fights and recording business rivalries that has dogged hip-hop for many years. Durk himself had discussed similar difficulties in interviews before to his arrest, admitting the larger background, yet occasionally appearing to disassociate himself from direct involvement. When asked about his problems with NBA YoungBoy and Quando Rondo in a 2023 interview, Durk gave a perplexing response. Much of Durk's public commentary on these rivalry has been characterized by this ambivalent position, which neither confirms nor denies specific disputes, Prosecutors at the federal level have characterized OTF as a hybrid organization, operating as a legal music business and a criminal organization with gang affiliations. This description has been compared to other well-known cases against rappers, such as the RICO prosecution of Young Thug. According to an FBI affidavit, Lil Durk might have been a part of a second murder-for-hire scheme in 2022 that targeted Gangster Disciples boss Stefan Mack. The affidavit states that there were conversations about paying for Mack's murder, which may have been connected to the 2021 murder of Durk's brother, Dante Banks, even though no charges have been brought for this purported conspiracy. These linked accusations reflect a long-standing battle that goes much beyond normal rivalries in the music industry, depicting recurring cycles of violence spanning several years in cities. Lil Durk entered a not guilty plea to all counts when he appeared in court in the Central District of California on November 14, 2024. His legal team, headed by well-known lawyer Drew Finling, has been putting up a fierce struggle to have the allegations against him dropped or his release granted. The court denied the defense's $3 million bail plan, which included $1 million in cash, $900,000 in real estate, and round-the-clock protection. U.S. citing Durk's substantial riches and potential for escape, Magistrate Judge Patricia Donahue ordered him to stay in custody. The trial, which was originally set for January 7, 2025, was moved to October 14, 2025, due to the case's complexity. As was already mentioned, there are over 230 gigabytes of digital evidence in the case, including 20,000 pages of reports, audio recordings, and surveillance film. This remarkable amount of evidence points to a drawn-out, intricate inquiry that took place over several years and countries. The federal nature of the charges, more especially the use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, indicates that the federal government has jurisdiction, because prosecutors believe the plot crossed state lines, possibly involving money transactions, travel, or communications. Lil Durk is still being held in MDC Los Angeles as of April 30th, 2025. A bond hearing is planned for May 2025, which might permit his release prior to trial. However, Durk's legal issues go beyond the criminal charges. Savia Robinson's mother, Andrea Lakila Robinson, filed a wrongful death case in Cook County Court, Chicago on February 24, 2025, against Lil Durk, his manager, the Only the Family label, and another firm, in order to hold those allegedly in charge of planning the attack accountable. Attorney Warren Postman, who is representing Robinson's family, underlined the terrible toll that Robinson's passing has taken on his family and community. Complicating matters further, the estate and family of FBG Duck, Carlton Weekly, sued Durk and OTF on October 9, 2024, shortly before his arrest, alleging that they made money off of Duck's murder in August 2020 through malfeasance and negligence. Regardless of the criminal case's verdict, Durk's finances and image could be negatively impacted by these civil actions, which put him in further legal danger. Additionally, they reveal tendencies that go beyond the particular incident charged in the federal prosecution, so expanding the purported involvement in street violence. Conversations concerning Durk's early life and gang affiliations have also been rekindled by the arrest. Several accounts claim that Durk dropped out of high school at the age of 17 and joined the Black Disciples gang in 2009. His music and personal history have been influenced by these early associations, which has complicated the background of the current accusations. "I'm not a gang member. I'm a Muslim," Durk wrote on social media in December 2023, implying an effort to reframe his identity or break with his previous associations. This comment generated controversy. Some saw it as a calculated move in light of the growing number of RICO lawsuits against rappers, while others saw it as an indication of a sincere change in the individual's life. As this story has demonstrated, the intricate relationship between music, violence, and legal scrutiny keeps bringing up challenging issues of racial bias in the court system, criminal culpability, and artistic expression. The case that may have far-reaching effects on hip-hop culture is depicted by the three elements we have examined: Durk's prison call, which reveals his current mental state, the contentious use of lyrics as evidence, and the serious charges he faces. A conviction might result in a life sentence for Lil Durk, thus destroying his career at its height. Whether the case's outcome is seen as a warning or an instance of systematic overreach, it may have an impact on artists' creative expression, by influencing how lyrics are handled in subsequent prosecutions. In a genre that has long taken pleasure in authenticity, Lil Durk's case compels us to consider challenging issues like where to draw the boundaries between art and evidence, artistic license, and criminal accountability. We appreciate you being here today. See more exciting content in our other videos.